All right, good day. Today I am in an aspen grove in a place in between the cities of Heber City, Utah and Park City, Utah. And I am enjoying a wonderful walk, except for the fact that there are mosquitoes all over the place, so I have my hat with me to smack them away while I'm doing my video. I chose this place because it's on my way to my appointment that I have this morning in Heber City, and the sun's just coming up. It's a beautiful day. I can hear many different birds singing, including I can hear woodpeckers making lots of their sounds, and I can hear a stream that's only 50 feet away from me, and this is just a beautiful place. I have always adored aspen trees, just the looks of them, just how pretty they are, how white they are, how they just seem kind of surreal and like a painting. And I love them so much that when I had my photo studio taking pictures of people, I got a wood permit and went up and cut a bunch of cedar trees and actually put them in my studio, which was above the Kinko's in St. George, Utah on Boulevard and Main. And we had a forest of aspen trees as one of our backdrops in our studio. And it was so much fun. And the families and the kids and everyone loved it, and I absolutely love aspen trees. I remember going into aspen trees when I was young with my family up in Island Park near Yellowstone National Park, and we would go around in the aspen trees and we'd find aspen trees. And I used to be smaller, and we used to bend the trees down, and then we'd hold on, we'd have somebody, an adult, bend them down, and we'd hold on, and then they'd let go, and we'd woohoo, go flying. It was a blast. Anyway, I have always loved trees. This week, my photo of the week is of a mountain goat, and it looks as though he's posing perfectly, and he ended up being the last mountain goat that I was able to photograph last year at Mount Evans, and it was a pretty cool experience. The first time that I found these mountain goats, it was on the way up to Mount Evans. It was a rainy, cold day, very cold. The elevation right where I was about 12,500 feet, and I noticed some mountain goats out away from the road. So I grabbed my camera and headed out, and forgot my coat, and I forgot my hat, and I forgot the cover for my camera, and it started to rain. However, I was able to get some very unique pictures as the rain was falling and all the goats were coming by me, just grazing as they went. It was a neat experience, and I stayed out taking pictures of them for about a half hour till my hands were almost numb, and I was afraid my camera wasn't gonna work anymore because it was getting too wet. But that was my first time, and then I started getting a week off so that I could go and do wildlife photos. And I would go up to Mount Evans, and every week for about 3 months I was able to find these mountain goats and hike with them. And nothing like being able to get close to Mother Nature and the animals and being able to hike with them was really, really special. One time I was with them, and they all decided it was time to rest. So they were all resting, and a couple of them were grazing. And so I did the same thing. I just sat there on a rock, just closing my eyes, waiting for them to start moving again. And then when they started moving, rather than going away from me like they usually did, they came right over to me. And they just surrounded my rock. They were getting salt from rocks close by my rock. They were actually eating directly below the rock that I was on, and they were bedding all around it. And of course I couldn't take pictures with my big lens at that point, so I started using my phone video, and with wide angle video I got a 22-minute video of them surrounding me and doing fun things. And the little babies were down kind of playing and scratching in the dust and eating. And even one of the mama goats came up to me and licked my boot, and one came from behind me and licked my back. It was quite an experience, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed every minute of my time with that herd of mountain goats. They would most of the time go pretty much to the same places and do similar things. I was able to get some quite incredible pictures. This photo of the week, though, is one where this billy goat was, well, first of all, we got all the way up to almost the top of the mountain, and it's where I would usually go back and head back to my truck. And this particular time they were all leaving, and they had all left, and I was kind of waving goodbye because I knew it was the last time. And then this billy goat came back all the way back to me, and as though he was saying, hey, hang around with us a little bit longer. Of course he wasn't, but I like to think that. But he came back and he started eating on the rock that I was on just below it, and he just hung out there for like 5 or 10 minutes with me. And I was using my smaller lens, and he struck that pose that is my photo of the week, as if to say, okay, here you go, one last shot, human. I am beautiful, and I am masculine, and I'm an amazing mountain goat, and take my picture for your last picture of mountain goats of the year. And that was it. So he was almost like a friend. That reminds me of a story of a friend of mine when I was young. So when I was young, I lived in a little town in Idaho called St. Anthony, and I had a best friend, and his name was Wally. And Wally and I did everything together, or lots of things together, and we were just the best of friends. We walked to school together. Uphill both directions, of course. Actually, it wasn't far at all of a walk, and it was nice to have somebody to walk with. Anyway, if I remember right, I was about 8 years old, 8 or 9, when the news came. Wally told me he was going to move. And I was so distraught that I hid under the sink in the kitchen of our house in St. Anthony, and was just in there crying and crying and crying because I was so sad that my friend was leaving. But then my mom found me and comforted me, said it'd be okay. And my mom's the best. And I believed her, and I gave her a big hug, and said, "Thanks, Mom." And then I was okay. I made new friends, and I, even in my adult life, I sort of reconnected with Wally on Facebook, and found that he is a good man and has a good family, and I definitely enjoyed my time with him and all my friends and my family and those mountain goats. And remember, if you want to see my pictures, they're at brettjorgensenphotography.com. That's BRETTJORGENSEN photography.com. Thank you much, and have a wonderful day. And enjoy the aspen trees. Woohoo!